Hey, 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 everybody. Maybe you're enjoying a little lunch break right now. I hope that you get to tune in with me today so we can talk about the five blockers to success that diets perpetuate over the years of us consuming diet culture. There are five things that ultimately end up blocking us from taking action. So I'll be talking to you guys about that today in just a couple of minutes. And while we wait for people to join, we are supposed to start at 1. So I'll give you a couple minutes to hop on there. Just wanted to share with you all what's going on in my community group and what's going on in my energetic eating method. I've got the group is talking about how to get 6 cups of vegetables into their nutrition each day. Sounds like a lofty goal, right? But just wanted to give you all a little tip that including 6 cups of high nutrient dense vegetables in your nutrition every single day is going to help you overcome markers of inflammation, help you crowd out behaviors where you're going towards sugar, help you really improve your digestion and help you feel better overall. So if anybody here, while we're waiting for people to join, is interested in getting 6 cups of vegetables into your nutritional plan per day, I do have a guide for doing that. And I like to keep it simple. Listen, you guys, fad diets and diets make eating incredibly complicated. They're like, only have fats, have this many fats, count these macros, figure out how much protein you have to eat, weigh it, measure it, all of that. And frankly, it's time consuming. It's too complicated and nobody has time for that. I didn't have time for that when I decided to stop dieting and listen to what I needed. My clients don't have time for that. So we go back to basics, we stick to basics, and it works. So if anybody here would like that guide for 6 cups of vegetables, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, I want you to put in hashtag 6 cups so that I can make sure to get that guide to getting in 6 cups of vegetables per day can get into your hands, and you can start making some of the really simple changes that my clients make in order to start to welcome in health in a brand new way. So I want to congratulate them on taking their first steps. Our group chat is blowing up with pictures of their lunches and smoothies and all of these amazing things that they're putting into their body. And this is the kind of support that they get in the energetic eating method is this type of group support, group chat, camaraderie, community, and we're not going to give up on each other. So that's where we are today with that. All right, it's 1 o'clock. So I do want to get started talking with you about the 5 blockers to health success. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we're ready here. We've got streaming on Facebook. I want to make sure that this is an interactive training. So I'm just looking to see if I can see your all's comments. Let's see. Oh, there I am. Awesome. So if you're tuning in today live, I want you to write hashtag live in the comments. If you're tuning in on a replay, I want you to put hashtag replay in the comments. It's just really good for me to know who's here and consuming the content while it's live and who's getting it later. I want to make sure that those of you who signed up and you don't get to watch the replay, that I get it into your hands, because what I'm going to teach you today is going to be a refreshing and simplified approach to health. You're not going to want to miss it. And together, we're going to explore a world where well-being isn't measured in pounds or calories. Because in a society that's obsessed with scales and numbers, today I'm here to help each and every single one of you break free from the conventional norms. We're going to dive into a realm where health is about feeling really good, nourishing your body, and embracing a balanced lifestyle without the need for constant counting, weighing, or portioning. Who's in for that? I didn't want to do it anymore. It was complicated and took way too much time. And I want to teach you guys how to do it differently. So you'll join me each week as we unravel the secrets to a healthier and happier life. It's time to shift the focus from the scale to an incredible journey of self-discovery and well-being. I want you to get ready to go off the scale with me through insightful conversations, expert interviews, and practical tips that will empower you on your path to a healthier and more fulfilling life. So we're going to embark on this transformative journey together. I'm in your corner. And if you guys tune in and listen every single week, you're going to get exactly what you need in order to do this on your own. And certainly you can always ask me for my support. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about the 5 ways that diets block us from succeeding in our health goals. And I'm going to help you identify what it is that actually keeps us stuck in the dieting cycle. It's not willpower. I'm going to give you actionable steps to take to overcome these blockers to your health. And after the podcast, I will post in the show notes or in the chat, if you're inside of our free Facebook group, the link to download the 5 blockers and each of their antidotes so that you can get started today. Stop thinking about the next diet and start thinking about how to connect with yourself. I'm so happy you guys are going to stick around for this full episode because these 5 ideas don't exist anywhere. I know that because they come from my personal experience. I didn't read them in a book. I didn't research them online. These are all things that I've experienced, my clients experienced, and I wrote about in the multi-author book Nourished just about 2 years ago. So I know that these ideas aren't anywhere else, and you guys will get a lot out of today's training. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to start with a startling statistic you guys may have heard me say before, but today 97% of women hate their bodies. 97%. Most of them are going to go on diets, and out of those women who are dieting, 95% of them will fail. There is nothing wrong with these women, and there's nothing wrong with you. There might not even be anything wrong with what they're eating or the exercise that they're choosing. The bigger problem is that diets promise to provide weight loss, quick wins, easy solutions, approaches that work for every single person, and physical outcomes. Those particular promises lead every single woman to believe that weight loss is the solution, that it should work right away, that it takes minimal effort, and that you should get the same results as so-and-so. And then at the end of that, you'll finally love yourself more. This perpetuates a cycle of physical loss, so something that my physical body is going to lose for emotional gain. So already we're meeting ourselves with a dichotomy, right? 2 things that don't go together, where I'm losing for gaining instead of loving for living. So we need to get away from physical loss for emotional gain instead of physical love for a life lived. Let's have physical love and live our lives more fully. That's what I'm here to teach you guys today, is how to get away from that diet culture that teaches you that physical loss gives you emotional gain. It's not true. We can be emotionally healthy today in the body that we have and love ourselves and live our lives more fully, making the decisions that are best for us. I want to give you a couple of examples. I stepped on the scale at Weight Watchers. This is, 15 years ago now. And when I was doing that, I remember either celebrating my success or hanging my head in self-loathing. And I remember one particular time where I sobbed my eyes out one meeting after I had binged on a container of Nutella, and I gained 8 pounds in 1 week. And I remember that I felt like my fate belonged to the scale. Did I do a good enough job managing my diet around my Nutella binge, or did this ruin me? And so then I blamed myself, because after I had that full container of Nutella, spoon after spoon, without even thinking, I had this huge weight gain. And here's the thing that surprised me most. The leader of that group, when I raised my hand and told her about the way that I was feeling and how I was eating it, she couldn't understand that I didn't just eat the right amount of points that were okay for my body. She didn't understand what emotional eating was. I had to explain to her what was going on for me. Okay, here's another example. At some point, and many points in my life, and I'm sure you guys have felt this too, I didn't put my health first. And here are the reasons that I wouldn't put my health first. I was too busy to take action, too busy in grad school, too busy working, too busy parenting, too busy to take on another diet. And here's what was installed in my head. So first, with Weight Watchers, it's that I have to measure myself, and nobody understands my experience except for me. The second problem is that I thought that I was too busy to even go on another diet, because diets overcomplicate what we should be doing for our bodies. They overcomplicate it into changing food into points, or they overcomplicate it into eating a certain amount of protein or fat in order to be able to lose weight. Now, my experience now is that I don't have to do any of those things. I can just eat what naturally feels okay with my body in order to be able to get the result that I want. And I want you to have that too. Inside of energetic eating, my program, I teach women how to eat for their bodies, not to eat for the diet. It's so much simpler that way. Okay. Here's another thing. I remember forcing myself to go on 5 diets to get rid of the last 10 pounds, only to step on the scale without a new result. Okay. So when we collect diets like this, and we're continuing to try to get some new result by collecting these diets on top of each other, we're not even trusting ourselves. We're not even trusting the diets anymore. And I'm sure some of you have been there where it's like, well, fasting's not working, so I'm only going to eat clean. Or, keto's not working, so I'm going to include fasting, right? So we start piling on these diets because we don't trust ourselves anymore. Every single one of these examples kept me stuck and trapped in the dieting cycle. But I set myself free, and you can too, with what I'm going to talk to you about today. Women wanting a weight loss solution only know one way of doing things. Step on the scale, feel proud or defeated, follow the diet again. Step on the scale, feel proud or defeated, follow the diet again. This cycle is perpetuated by 5 main things that keep us stuck here. And I know you guys are tuning in so that you can learn exactly what those 5 things are that I want you to stop doing today, right now, so that you can get freedom from the scale and freedom in your body and freedom to choose what you're going to eat today. I once had a client who came in and she had been dieting since she was a teenager, and she couldn't get to the bottom of what was holding her back from losing weight. She thought she needed to weigh herself every single day to prove what she was doing was working. She thought that all of the self-loathing would keep her in check, that if she hated herself enough, she would be able to do the thing once and for all that was going to work for her. She thought having a start date would be motivating. She believed that she couldn't take action until everything in her life was perfect. Diets are complicated and drain energy. So of course you're going to put it off until there's a best time to start, right? Instead of saying, well, the best time to start is today. It's too complicated. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready to move forward with that. But once she had permission to get off the scale, love herself first, and take action today, not on a diet, but in alignment with what made her feel good, she was able to throw away this hardly complex dieting ritual that literally plagued her body for years, and instead take action from a place of curiosity for her health and generosity for her emotional well-being. This led to all sorts of aha moments for her that opened her up to a world much more than weight loss. It opened her up to confidence in her ability to say yes to her health, to her work, to her relationships, to her family, and into her life in a whole new way. She had come to me under-exercised, fasting, eating poorly, and sleep deprived. But today, she continues her journey, running 5Ks, training for a half marathon, eating breakfast and energy-giving foods, well rested enough to show up for strength training class at 6:30 in the morning, twice a week. It's amazing. And she has herself described that it's a miracle that she's been able to change that. And so I want to share with you guys the 5 blockers that she had to drop in order to be able to get where she is today. The 5 things I needed to drop in order to get to where I am today, and what I teach my clients. And in fact, I don't just teach my clients, I expect them to make agreements and uphold the responsibility to the 5 things that I'm going to tell you today. It is expected in the energetic eating method that every single person does their very best to do exactly what I'm going to tell you to do today. Okay. All right. So you might want a pen and paper for these. Hi, Don. You might want a pen and paper for these. The first one is to stop measuring yourself. Don't do it anymore. I want you to get off of the scale. The scale is extremely damaging for women who want to lose weight and are stuck in the yo-yo cycle. Okay. Particularly for women who are stuck in that cycle, you've got to stop weighing yourself. I stopped doing it, I don't know what it is now, 5 or 6 years ago. And to the point where I'd stepped on it without a new result. I was so frustrated. And this is what began my whole journey. I went outside with with the scale. I had a neighbor driving by. We put it on the ground and she ran over it with her car, smashed into a million pieces. And I said, I'm never weighing myself again. And sure enough, the world didn't explode. Nothing bad happened to my body. I felt amazing. I took action anyway, and I felt more empowered to take action for my health than I did for the scale. So I expect all of my clients to do that, and that's how they get results. The second thing is to stop digging for fad diets. You're simply procrastinating. Okay, we say, I have to find the right thing. We get all nervous and flustered about it. And we say, I can't start anything today because I haven't found the right thing. You need to align your thoughts, your foods, and your actions with yourself, not with the diet. The reason you're putting it off is because it doesn't belong to you. So, the very simple question I want you to ask yourself is, what would you do if the healthiest version of yourself wanted to be here today? Even if it's one small thing, what would it be? One tiny thing. What would it be? One small thing repeated over time will change your life. And inside energetic eating, we talk about what those small things are that make a huge impact. And without me giving them a meal plan, this is coming from your heart. The third thing, stop believing that a diet is going to save you time and energy. You're blaming external circumstances instead of taking personal responsibility. We have to take ownership of our health and be problem solvers. So you need to ask yourself, what's keeping me from taking action? If it's time, evaluate how you're using your time effectively. If it's not having healthy options, go get healthy options. If you're too tired, get more sleep. We are the ones who are standing in our own way, not the right diets. There isn't any single diet out there that will be able to work for you and justify the behavior that you are trying to keep that will actually help you move forward in your life. And inside energetic eating, I help my clients overcome those barriers. But the main things you need to ask yourself are, am I blaming my external circumstances on not doing anything today? And if you have a real physical challenge, like you have chronic fatigue or chronic migraines or any difficulty with your gut health, that needs to be addressed. And you can do that with me. You can do that with a functional nutrition doctor. You can do it with a nutritionist, but it's something that needs to be resolved. And I do help my clients one-on-one in a VIP coaching option with resolving those things so that they don't become excuses anymore. We want to be able to get out of our own way. The fourth thing, really important. Anytime you hear anything negative in your thoughts about yourself or your inability to take action, immediately reframe the thought. If that's too hard, then you can express gratitude for something about yourself. So you hear a negative thought about yourself, you catch yourself in the mirror, you start cycling in your head, or you're putting on your clothes and you start giving yourself the business in your head, immediately start expressing gratitude for something about yourself. If that's too hard for you, which it can be for people who are really stuck in the cycle, then express gratitude for something around you or someone else. Okay. And then the fifth thing, when you see a diet is working for someone else and you start comparing yourselves to them, just take a deep breath and think about one thing you are doing for yourself that is taking you in the right direction. The first affirmation that I give my clients in the energetic eating method is, there is a unique plan for me. There is a unique plan for me. If you walked around in the world and you simply said, there's a unique plan for me, and you saw other people, and instead of feeling like judgment or fear that you're not going to be there, or comparison, you just admire what they're doing for themselves, and admiration, right? Admire what's going on for them and remind yourself, boy, there's a unique plan for me too. And I'm so excited that I'm on board for that. Because the truth is, what's working for them might not work for you. And that's what gets us stuck in the yo-yo cycle. Guys, when we go on diets, the thing is that they don't belong to us. So inside energetic eating, I give you your power back so that you can make decisions for you, not for the diet. When you have your power, you are able to make huge decisions, not just with your nutrition, but with things that are going on in your life, because you can set your health on repeat easily when the actions you're taking are aligned with how you are, who you are, and the way that you want to feel. It's really simple. It's crazy simple. And it's so much simpler than following a diet. And I always ask people, would you rather spend the rest of your life yo-yo dieting, going in and out of diets, or would you rather spend 12 weeks learning how to connect with yourself so you never have to diet ever again? You can't put a price tag on that. You can't. You can't put a price tag on the community, on the support that you get. on the amount of care and love and empathy that exists inside of the energetic eating method, it's priceless. So I want you guys to continue to tune in because I'm going to give you all of the tips and as much coaching as I can through these podcasts so that you can live your best life without dieting and be able to get the results that you want, to achieve a healthy weight, to feel more confident, to feel empowered over the choices that you're making, and not to feel burdened by the habits that have kept you stuck where you are. So remember these 5 things. Stop measuring yourself. Stop blaming yourself and external circumstances. Don't procrastinate on your health by looking for a diet. Just take a small action today. Reframe your negativity into positive thoughts. And then when you're comparing yourself to others, be in admiration and gratitude for yourself and for them. I promise you guys, if you do these 5 things, it will be easier to listen to your true needs. And with time, so much simpler than returning to the diet or a new diet over and over and over again. I'm going to go ahead and paste the 5 blockers cheat sheet down in the show notes for the podcast. And I'm going to post it in our free group so that you guys can have access to it right away. As we wrap up another episode of Off the Scale, I want you guys to just think of this simple reminder. Health is a journey, not a destination. And in a world inundated with rules and restrictions, we've discovered a path inside energetic eating that allows you to navigate your well-being without the need for scales or rigid guidelines. This is all about how you feel. It's about the joy you experience and the vitality that radiates within you. I hope the insights that were shared today inspire you to embrace a simpler approach to health, one that focuses on nourishing your body, your mind, and your spirit, one where you can really address truly the top 5 things that get in our way that have been installed by diet culture and that you don't have to hold on to anymore. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, I want you guys to continue to come back. Where I'm going to be here Thursdays at 1 o'clock here in the free group live. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Dawn, for being here live. Again, if you're watching this on the replay, type #replay. If you're watching live, let me know that you're here live. And then this is going to go in my video podcast channel on YouTube. And you guys can always check out the replays there too. I hope you have an awesome day and a happier, healthier you.